Hi. Welcome back to my studio. It's been a while. We had some technical difficulties. We were switching over to a different camera. I got a Canon Rebel to be what I video all my art making on, and I couldn't figure it out for a long time. But while you guys weren't looking, I made a bunch of paintings. So this one you saw me make that a couple weeks ago. Here we have Ooh, I'm mad at you. Trying to come up with words. This is Proud Olivia. I'm gonna try and change up the color palette since Happy and Proud are basically the same. And I want Proud to be the yellow, blue, and red of the Ecuadorian flag. So Happy, I'm probably gonna incorporate some greens. And then we have Sad, not feeling good. Oh, miss. Somebody's made me really sad, now I'm sobbing. And then we have I'm mad again. It looks like Cruella de Vil. I know I watched 101 Dalmatians a lot when I was a little kid, so that might be influencing this. So I wanted to have a variety of, there's different kinds of mad, right? Like this is the silent, I'm trying to think about what to say to you mad, and this is you're about to get it mad. Verbally. You're about to verbally get it. I'm observing and I don't like what I observed. And this is the last straw. Like I'm about to go off. Slightly different color palette with that. This one has sort of the darker red and this is the orange. And orange indicates action, like she's about to go off. But this one's a little bit more like I'm watching you. Two different sads. This is the not quite crying yet, but like disappointed. And this is the okay, I've had enough. It's all bubbling up. It's got to come out. What I want to do today is I'm going to do a different kind of happy. This was like the laughing happy. There's a couple of other facial expressions I can do, and I'll play around with the color palette a little bit more because, yeah, there's not really green in any of these. Okay, so these were the other happy expressions I sketched out earlier. I think I'm going to do this surprised happy just because it's a little bit more exaggerated than the other two. And what we want to go for here is just really exaggerated facial expressions. So I'm going to draw this out real quick. I'll speed right through that. There's a fine line between, obviously I'm cartooning, but it was so drilled into my brain to put in every single detail I could find when I was, portrait painting or figure drawing, that now all I want to do is make this so detailed. But simplify, simplify, simplify. When you're cartooning, simplification is one of the most important things you can do. One challenge, at least with this illustration, is I so desperately want to illustrate a kid with crazy curly hair because I feel like it's just easier. It's easier to draw kids with straight hair. That way, consistency's pretty easy, but so many kids out there just have this like unruly hair. Most of my preteen and teenage years were spent straightening my hair and being ashamed of all the curls. I am so dead set on this curly hair, and I think I've got it down. There's some pieces that always have to be here, like there's this little swoosh in front and then this little piece that sticks up. Those are always there, and then these two little curls that come down from the ears, those are always there, and then everything else I can move around and play with. Curly hair is so cool and fun and beautiful that was definitely going to be, and this is what my kid looks like. Her hair is huge and unruly, and it's so long it's starting to tangle a little bit. There was no way I was going to simplify her hair. Color-wise, so we're definitely going to use this yellow. This is the main happy color. It's part of the Proud color palette too, but yellow is historically, famously, one of the most happy colors there is. So we're definitely using this. But I do have open, damn it. Okay. I do have this sort of light green. I have a darker green. I have two different blues, which maybe I'll keep the blues away from the happy color palette just because it's in the proud color palette and in the sad color palettes. So, or maybe these light blues aren't in the sad one. I have mostly dark blues. Maybe this is a little bit too dark. So maybe I'll use the light blue. And pink. Pink we're gonna use, at least in her face, just to help with accenting the redness of cheeks and nose and all that stuff. So we'll use the pink. So I think this might be our happy color palette at this point. So we got our yellow, a light green, a little bit darker green, a light blue, and our pink. Okay, so what I'm gonna start off with is painting the yellow around the whole illustration here. Part of my style, I'm gonna leave a little white border around the very edges. My yellow paint is pretty thick, so I'm just gonna water it down a little bit. And if you noticed in the other illustrations, my brush strokes become pretty important per expression as well. So with this sad one, there's this misty kind of texture going on back here because I'm adding water as the color is coming out. That's to represent tears that might be welling up or something. So this is kind of the look that I want in the background of sad. Or this one, this stippling is for actual tears. This one has very aggressive stroke coming from the center, right? So you can see those brush strokes. So that's what I want to do when she's angry. This one has the same one. Same kind, it's not radiating from the center, but it's still these like really aggressive brush marks. And then these two were kind of early on. So you can't really see brush strokes per se, but it's supposed to feel like light sunlight. So there's yellow light kind of being reflected on her shoulders and arms and everything. There's a light that's emanating. So that helps with the happiness of these two images. So I'm going to try and do that, the same thing here. Have light coming from behind a little bit. I'm also going to use this same color to fill her in, and we'll have this yellow color bouncing off. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry before we move on to more colors, or else they'll just all bleed together. So while that's dry, I wanted to show you, so this is the story. Look how, there's gonna be, I counted it up, there's gonna be about 41 illustrations. So I printed it all out because I'm working on cover. I'm gonna make the title digital. So I was working on a font for this. So I think this is where I've landed. It's cursive, and I know a lot of kids don't get taught cursive anymore, which kind of sucks because look how beautiful, like there's so many fun things you can do with cursive. I'm gonna do cursive for the cover. The inside is probably gonna be your, a standard serif. I had to print it out so that I can touch and feel and write notes as I'm reading it over and over and over and over again about what each scene needs to incorporate. This is gonna be my little test tablet to collect all my thoughts. So it's coming together. Okay, so most of this layer is dry. Okay, so I've put a little bit of pink on her face just to give her a little bit of color. And generally the rule is, what I see a lot of folks doing and what I've adapted to as well is put a little bit of pink on the tip of the nose, the cheeks. I do the tip of the ears, and then little parts of the forehead, and then lips. I'm also going to put a little bit on the collarbone just to have a little bit more color than just the yellow. While that's drying, I'm going to use this light green as the secondary color in this spread. So I'm going to use this green as part of the shadows. What I am going to do for a little bit of contrast is I'm using this light green now, and I'm going to come in with the darker green just to enhance those shadows a little bit.